Hey guys, this is Cholera with Louder once again in Game 2 of Group B of the MSL Round of 32, the ClubDay MSL. And this is a Protoss versus Protoss between the very experienced Jangbi from Samson Khan and Bull T, a new Protoss player on SKT1 who so far made it to the Round of 32. This is on the map Medusa, and here in the 7 o'clock position in Peach is Jangbi, and at the 11 o'clock in Teal will be Bull T. Bull T has never played against a Protoss in a pro game, whereas Jangbi is 45% against Protoss in the lifetime stats. It's his weakest lineup, actually, but I still will say he's the favorite here. And I guess my first question to you, Louder, since you play Protoss, is how would you open up on a map like Medusa with such a wide opening, open area in the middle, and yeah, basically based on what you know from the map?
I think a map like this is pretty well suited to just a standard Goon Reaver build. It's a very easy build to get your expansion up, do a timing attack. One of the other games that we saw, I think from OSL, we saw a 4-gate Goon all in against a 2-gate Goon Reaver, and the 2-gate Goon Reaver won pretty convincingly. I can't remember who the players were, but
that was
it seemed to me
Rock
like a
versus
really
Backup.
opening.
Rock versus Best. Sorry, Rock versus Best. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so that seemed like a good opening. The distances between the base allowed it to work pretty nicely. He had a Reaver before there was a large enough number of those 4-gate goons to bust his door down, and that's kind of a safe all-purpose build anyway. I guess it's kind of a lame strategy for me to suggest since everyone does it, but it's a good build. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 players in this game do it.
I agree. Other than the 4-gate Dragoon push there, which the Rock tried to do against Best, what other strategies would you say could work, as a rush strategy or something as something unexpected other than the fast Reaver or the 2-gate Reaver, actually?
I'm not sure that a 2-gate Zealot Nexus build would be bad on this map. It works on most maps with a long base distance, so we might see that at some point. And you can always go for a Dark Templar expansion build, which, if you work out the timing just right, you can stop the Goon Reaver timing attack, and if you get lucky, you can get that Dark Templar into their base and do some damage. Those 2 strategies are kind of all-purpose for Protoss. One of the things about this matchup nowadays is you just don't see a whole lot of creativity because all the builds are so mechanically well-defined that most any build is capable of handling any other build as long as you don't take it to an extreme and do an all-in 4-gate with no detection, get countered by DTs or something like that. So I don't have high expectations of seeing anything interesting or creative in this matchup on this map.
Yeah, I mean, especially with these 2 players, Jangbi, while he's very, very good in especially large army size control and very good against Terran, he's 62% against Terran, he's somewhat lackluster against Protoss, and to be honest, if anyone's going to be going for something interesting, it will be Bull T. Jangbi is probably going to play a safe game here, and he probably knows he's better than Bull T, at least in terms of experience, so he's going to play a rather standard game and just try to beat him with slightly better mechanics and maybe slightly better control towards the mid and late game. Looks like both players are at a complete mirror build. There we see the second Zealot going up for both players, most likely. That is the sort of the standard build. Actually, looks like a Dragoon coming out a little bit earlier for Jangbi, and he might actually use that Dragoon to do a little bit of harassment, but Zealots are not going to get the job done against a probe, of course, the wily little coyote of StarCraft, and we're going to see the core spinning for both players, most likely. Yeah, so pretty standard here, and this is a setup for the Reavers, the Reaver build, right?
Yeah, this is the standard opening. You can expect to see a robotics bay and a second gateway go down at any point, possibly at both bases. I think whoever gets the better scouting information will definitely have the advantage, and it looks like Jangbi has still got a probe running around in that base, whereas Bull T has nothing in Jangbi's base. So Jangbi definitely has the strategic advantage in the PvP coin toss. So I'm interested in seeing if Jangbi tries to do something cute to take advantage of it, because so far it looks like he's just doing a standard 2-gate build. I think he's got a robotic spay coming, so pretty typical game.
Yeah, and finally we're seeing that Goon coming out. Oh, Jangbi actually pushing forward here. He has the numerical superiority because he managed to get to the 2 goons of Bull T back to try to kill the probe, but looks like now they've come and rejoined their friends there at the front there. So Jangbi probably not going to be able to do much damage. Looks like both players actually did go for the robotics facility, and they've completely warped in. And you're right, both have gone for 2-gate with the robotics facility. Looks like Bull T's might be slightly delayed. Maybe he didn't want the probe to see it on its first pass before it ran over to the corner. Meanwhile, Jangbi's dancing back and forth with 2 Dragoons against 3 Dragoons. Why do you think he's doing that right now?
He's just trying to keep pressure on. You'll notice that he's avoiding taking a lot of damage with his own units, and he's going to keep sending units. He probably knows that his range started sooner, and he knows that he made his first Dragoon sooner, and he even knows that his second gateway was started sooner. So, he's going to try to take advantage of everything he can, and that's pretty typical of the higher level Protoss players in that they're very confident in taking 1 or 2 units very early to the other player's base and doing what damage they can. Someone once gave me some advice in this matchup that it doesn't matter how many units you lose as long as you kill at least as many as you lose and you keep up in macro in this matchup. As long as you battle effectively, it does not matter whether or not you're taking damage. So, that's a bit of advice you could give to players, is not to be scared to just take your units and go fight. As long as you don't lose them needlessly in this matchup, it's not going to hurt you to send your first Dragoons out. Oh, and look, we see that Bull T has gone for the quick observer, because as we saw, his scout was quickly driven out of Jangbi's base, and Jangbi, having the superior scouting information, is going to do Reaver first, which is going to allow him to put on a very strong attack.
That's right. He's going to have that Reaver inside of Bull T's base before Bull T gets his Reaver out. He does have that robotic support, but wow, Jangbi actually managed to trick a probe into Bull T's the back of Bull T's base. That was actually really interesting. I wonder if he built a pylon or something near that neutral structure, which we saw much to against July. Do you think that's how he got that probe in?
Yeah, that's definitely how he got it in. The probe went right there, and you kind of could see the building pop up on the mini-map and then disappear. That's a really interesting feature to put on the map. I think it kind of makes it difficult to protect your strategy, which probably just goes further to encourage very standard play. Okay, we've got some Reaver battle coming, but as you know, the Reaver with the shuttle usually has a pretty sturdy advantage.
Yeah, we're seeing 1 Dragoon coming down. Here comes the big battle in the middle. Meanwhile, though, the Reaver from Bull T, I think, will be able to hold off this battle, but Jangbi continuing to pursue here. He's down looks like he's down to 3 Dragoons, but no, he picks off the Reaver. Absolutely amazing there, but he only has 1 shuttle and a Reaver left, and if those Dragoons pick it off, no! Jangbi escapes with the shuttle. Absolutely great micro by Jangbi. He knew exactly when to push and when to stop. Now if he can get a couple more Dragoons up, he's certainly going to be able to take down the expansion. And Bull T continuing to allow that expansion to go up. I guess he realizes he needs to pick up some sort of advantage here. Jangbi, meanwhile, has not gone for his Nexus, so that will be more units he has in the upcoming battle. So he's going to need to attack soon or do a Reaver harass at some point, or else he is going to fall behind a little bit. But I think that was a pretty close battle. I won't say either player won it because Jangbi, to really win, needed to do some damage. All he did was pick off the opposite Reaver, and by that it wasn't enough. What do you think is the best option for Jangbi right now? Just to expand or to go for a Reaver harass on the probe line?
I think going for a Reaver harass might not be the best idea because, as you can see, Bull T has pretty good sighting around his main, and all his Dragoons are at his natural, so it's going to be difficult to get a Reaver in there and do much damage. I think that the best thing for Jangbi to do is what it looks like he's doing now, and to move up and try to use those 2 Reavers in his shuttle and get some kind of advantage, because very quickly Bull T's Dragoon count is going to pile up. And once he gets that 4-gate goon going and he gets his own 2 Reavers in a shuttle, it's going to be a lot harder for Jangbi to do anything. Oh, and look at this. We have Jangbi taking out that neutral building. He's going to try to come in the back door and pull off some real cheese.
And I